do sometimes worry about these electric bikes being on cannock chase. I wouldn't like to be hit by one if I stopped all of a sudden and they rammed into you. I think the weight implication is quite high. And apparently there was an event on sale that they've usually got more protective knee pads, elbow pads, but there must have been a local event on or something, and they were almost ram-raided and like a wildfire sale. Trek Remedy. I was looking at that, Trek Remedy, but I wanted something a little bit slacker. These look quite aggressive. Electric bikes. Loads of Camelback. I think that's the one I'm going to go for. I think it may be a little bit big, but it will give you the chance to put, I don't know, a fly sheet or something, so you could possibly use it for camping as well. Very good volume, space. And this is my bike, exactly the same. I'm a little bit concerned about, if I tilt the camera, a little bit concerned about this gap here. I'd like to put some Velcro on here and on here and put some thin rubber across, just to stop pebbles and little rocks getting in through there. Because obviously this is carbon. I think that's a little bit of an oversight. And the cable routing on the back seems to be a little bit of an issue. It either goes way inboard or a bit close to the crank. So I've at the moment got a couple of cable ties holding that there. But yeah, it needs a cable tie here probably around this centre section here to stop this, because this starts to shift up and down. And when I first had mine, it was way inboard like that. So I think I've got a couple of cable ties here. I'm going to put another one here to stop it from travelling. I know this moves and you need a bit of movement and a bit of slack, but it just seemed to be kept on getting a little bit too excessive. Doesn't completely lock out, it just goes very hard, medium, and then fully open. And just one dial on the top, because it's the Lyric instead of the other one that's got another adjuster. But I had a little bit of trouble with this lever yesterday. I think it's a bit too far out. I was catching my knee on it on the tight turns. There is an adjusting screw here, so I'm going to loosen that and move it across. I've already shifted the position on the screws, and there is another screw under here which may be able to rotate it away. So I want to have a play with that. But the brakes are superb. Stop on a dime. And I need more air in, and I think I might put a spacer in as well. Volume spacer. Got whites as well. First time I've seen them close up now. You go, look, it looks a little bit feeble. I'm sure it's up to the job. But if you compare those pivot pins on here to the Specialized bolt, and it hasn't got one, it's got a yoke, and all these pivot points are the same, looks a hell of a lot more reassuring. I'm sure it's up for the job, but it's just one of those, having an engineering background and probably slightly over engineering certain things. So yeah, I think my brother had one of these, and the brakes, honestly, I don't know if it was the material the brakes were, the compound, it did not stop. It was horrifying how bad the brakes were on the cheapest side of these bikes. When you're looking at the £500 bikes, they really do not seem sharp. Not on my brother's anyway. So the rest of the Cube range, they do an all electric. Insurance. I know white has got an incredible name. Frame looks nice, very nice. And that's the only thing I'm let down as well. I'd like the Tram 11 crank, but I haven't got that on mine. I think it's race face, and they're not the smoothest crank. Again, I'll go over and show you, because it was a big off point for me, and I think I will replace the crank. I just don't like this sharpness. Most of these Specialised at the moment have got this sharpness. I want it a bit softer. I'm catching the back of my foot on it, whereas I prefer that. And it almost made me not buy the bike, but I was looking at the Hope do a nice one. They haven't got one here, but I might change it for a Hope. We'll go for the higher end SRAM cranks. I do make some lovely stuff, Hope. That is fantastic. Look at the machine work in that. Real fan of the Hope stuff. So I think that's it. I think we'll go downstairs and have a coffee. See if they've got any carrot cake.
Ties into a bit of you being in between two sizes, two foxes.
Right. It's all right. He hates being on camera, don't you?
You're welcome in our workshop if you want.
Right, okay, yeah, I'll have that. I've been.
We'll have to buzz you in.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a look at that, because I think your setup rig downstairs is fantastic. Your bike fitting, cool. It's absolutely brilliant. That is.
Probably more in the workshop.
And what do you charge for a bike fit down there?
Well, a Guru fit is normally about £200.
Yeah.
Local clubs, and if you buy a bike, we obviously give you a discount.
Yeah.
We also, the joy of that jig is it also has a massive archive of current bikes.
Yeah.
So you can actually use it as like, if you came in and wanted
to
try a
you
bike
can
and
go
got on display and you're like, oh, you're 54, 56, I can put you on I can size you.
Yeah,
so we can use it as that tool, so that's what
and you could say a particular brand's going to fit you because that's the shape you are.
Yeah. So we can. It's also, we use it not just as a bike jig and fitting machine. It's maybe I didn't have the one built, and you're like, oh, I'm not too sure. Or if a customer's in between sizes, normally I'll put them on, and as it's the jig will move as I set you up.
Yeah.
I won't tell you.
Right.
The customer will go, that's the one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they'll know.
Yeah.
And it's.
I had a terrible experience with a bike fit. He was just trying to get me low,